Seated. We come to that point now in our order of worship where we come before the Lord lifting up the joys, the concerns, the thanksgivings that we might have. As we come together in prayer this morning, let's continue to remember Peggy Beverly's brother George in our prayers. Also Rosa Hamrick's nephew Dick in our prayers. Also Kat McClanahan, let's continue to remember her father Jerry. Nancy Kilgore would like us to continue to remember her sisters, especially Wilma, in our prayers. Keep my stepdad, Herbert Mills, in your prayers. I had to go in for a meeting in Alcoa last Monday, and by the time I got home Monday night, I was getting a call from my mom saying they'd put him back in the hospital. But they think they have found where he was bleeding internally, and they think they found and cauterized that. So he is hopefully on the road to recovery. Also, let's keep Ann Nichols in our prayers as she recovers from surgery this past week. Keep my son Jacob in your prayers. He seemed to have a little bit of a tussle on the football field Friday night, but he has just got a pretty bad sprain, but he's recovering from that. Also, let's keep those persons that have been affected by Hurricane Patricia as it came through Mexico on up into Texas, and the remnants are working their way up through the middle of the country, and all the rain that's coming from that and the flooding. What else do we need to lift up in prayer this morning? Down here. Okay, got one. Becky?
I asked this morning that you lift Roy and I and our family this morning. Our 31-year-old son left Friday, and we cannot locate him. He usually will text me, call me, come by the church, and let me know where he's going. But we have not been able to find him. I've reached out to his friends. I have not gotten a response. So please just keep us in your prayers that he will return home tomorrow, or at least contact us and let us know where he is.
Okay. Debbie?
I have a praise and a prayer concern. My Aunt Judy, my cousins, Michael and Jonathan, have made it safely home from Iraq. They've been there for over 6 months, and they actually got to go and visit my grandmother before she passed away. So that's a praise. And then also please keep my family in your prayers because Grandma's pretty much unresponsive right now. So.
Okay. What else do we need to lift up? Kim?
Well, I still don't know a whole lot about myself, but just keep me in your prayers to let the doctors figure out what's going on with me. I'm standing in faith that it's all going to be good, and I would like to be back for the cantata, but I don't know. But my request today is for my dad. He has done something to his back, maybe similar to what Steve has done, and he's 79, and I think he's a little bit nervous about it. So if y'all would remember him, his name is Morris Slay, and I would appreciate it if you just keep him in your prayers. Thanks.
Okay. He's also a retired United Methodist preacher. What else? Okay.
A heart special procedure Thursday that it was successful at the time. He has AFib and his heart went back into the rhythm, so we're just praying that it stays in rhythm. And also I have a dear friend, Ginger Rutherford, who, if you would keep her in prayer, she has terminal cancer. I just found out a few weeks ago, so just keep her in prayer. Thank you now.
Okay. Are there others? Dale?
Our daughter Mary Lynn has a procedure at the hospital Thursday, and we felt sure she was going to be okay, but she had a reaction to the procedure and had to go to the ER last night, and she's had a terrific headache ever since she had the procedure, and we're praying that she will be okay, that she won't have to have any additional problems.
Okay. Are there others? Let's go before the Lord in prayer. Most gracious God, we come to you on a day that outside seems sort of dreary. Those kind of days sort of make us feel dreary if we're not too careful, and we've come into a place where we don't need to be dreary this morning. We've come into a place where your Spirit is present because you tell us that where 2 or 3 are gathered in your name, there you are in the midst of us. And so we know that you're here. We know that each of these requests, each of these concerns, each of these things that we have shared are things that you are capable of affecting, that you're capable of touching our lives, that you're capable of healing us, that you're capable of guiding us, that you're capable of taking away the pain and the frustration and the fears and the things that just affect us. Help us not to be gloomy. Help our spirits not to be down just because the outside may seem that way, but help us to rejoice knowing that we are in your presence right now, that in a very special way you are among us and that you are here so that we can worship and that we can lift up our hearts and that we can lift up our voices and we can lift up our thoughts and we can lift up just this entire congregation before your throne of grace.
Yeah.
Let us praise you, O God. Let us know that regardless of what the situation is in our lives, that there is peace and joy, that there is your power and your presence just waiting for us to come before you, waiting for us to be bold and ask in prayer, waiting for us to know that it is only through you that we're going to find the peace in life that we need, that it's only through you that we're going to find the wholeness that only you can give. And so be with each of these concerns, with each of these people, with each of these families, with each of these children of yours. And just let your love flow over us. We ask all this in the name of Christ, who has taught us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.